Intro today, we pay tribute to a legendary voice and an extraordinary life. Steve Lawrence, a name synonymous with timeless music and enduring artistry, left an indelible mark on the entertainment world. From his humble beginnings in Brooklyn to becoming a pop icon of the mid-20th century, his journey is one of passion, talent, and resilience. Let's take a closer look at the life of this remarkable artist, whose legacy continues to inspire generations. Childhood Steve Lawrence, born Sidney Leibowitz on July 8, 1935, in the working-class Brownsville neighborhood of Brooklyn, New York, grew up in a modest yet musically inclined family. His father, Max Leibowitz, was a house painter by trade, but also served as a cantor, singing traditional Jewish liturgical music in the local synagogue. Max's dual roles as a provider and a man deeply connected to music likely influenced Steve's early interest in performing arts. His mother, Anna Leibowitz, was a homemaker who supported the family and ensured the children were well cared for, instilling in them a sense of discipline and dedication. Steve was the youngest of 3 children in the Leibowitz household, growing up alongside his 2 older sisters, Mildred and Jeanette. While not much is publicly documented about his siblings, it's clear that Steve's family created an environment where his musical talents could flourish. His father's role as a cantor provided him with regular exposure to the power of song and rhythm in communal settings. This early exposure to music laid the foundation for his lifelong passion. Steve began demonstrating his vocal talent at a young age, singing in synagogue services under his father's guidance. His clear, angelic voice often drew admiration from the congregation. However, like many young boys, puberty temporarily disrupted his singing career when his voice changed. During this time, Steve did not abandon his musical pursuits. Instead, he channeled his energy into studying music theory and learning to play instruments, including the piano and saxophone. He also began experimenting with songwriting and arranging, showcasing a budding talent for composition that would later complement his singing career. As he matured and his voice stabilized, Steve resumed singing during his high school years at Thomas Jefferson High School in Brooklyn. To refine his talent, he enrolled in formal vocal training, working diligently to master techniques that would prepare him for professional opportunities. Beyond school, Steve's ambition took him to Manhattan's Brill Building, the heart of the American music industry in the mid-20th century. He began singing on demo records for music publishers, an invaluable experience that introduced him to the professional world of music and helped him build connections with influential figures. Family? The stage name Steve Lawrence was inspired by the first names of 2 of his nephews, reflecting his deep connection to family, even as he sought to create a distinct identity for his career. In 1951, at just 16 years old, Steve's breakthrough moment came when he won the Arthur Godfrey Talent Scouts television contest. His win not only marked the beginning of his career, but also brought immense pride to his family, who supported his dreams. In 1957, Steve married fellow singer Adi Gorm in Las Vegas, forming a lifelong partnership both personally and professionally. Adi became his greatest collaborator, and together they were celebrated as one of the most iconic duos in entertainment history. The couple's love and mutual respect translated into their music, earning them a loyal fan base that spanned decades. Steve and Adi later welcomed a son, David Lawrence, who followed in his father's footsteps to become a successful film composer. Despite his fame, Steve Lawrence maintained a deep connection to his roots. His upbringing in a close-knit Jewish family shaped his values and work ethic, both of which were evident throughout his illustrious career. Steve Lawrence's career gained significant momentum in 1952 when, at just 16 years old, he signed a recording contract with King Records after winning a talent contest on Arthur Godfrey's Talent Scouts, a popular CBS TV show. This early success not only provided him with his first professional break, but also put him in the spotlight, leading to a cascade of opportunities. In 1953, talk show host Steve Allen recruited Lawrence to be one of the featured singers on his local New York late-night show on WNBC TV. The show, which also included vocalists Eddie Gourmet and Andy Williams, quickly became a hit. NBC subsequently decided to expand its reach to a national audience, renaming the program The Tonight Show. Lawrence, along with Gourmet and Williams, remained part of the show's core cast until its conclusion in 1957. Reflecting on this period, Lawrence often credited Steve Allen's mentorship and the dynamic variety of performances required on the show as pivotal in shaping his career. As he described it, "Every night I was called upon to do something different. In its own way, it was better than vaudeville." In the late 1950s, Lawrence was drafted into the U.S. Army, where he served as the official vocal soloist for the United States Army Band Pershing's Own in Washington, D.C. Even during his military service, Lawrence maintained his connection to the music industry. The Army allowed him to continue recording, and he released several successful singles during this time, including Party Doll, which reached number 1, 5 on the U.S. charts, and Pretty Blue Eyes, which peaked at number 9. His ability to balance his military duties with his rising music career showcased his dedication and work ethic. By the early 1960s, Steve Lawrence had firmly established himself as a solo artist, consistently placing songs on the hit parades. Hits such as Footsteps, number 7, Portrait of My Love, number 9, and his iconic chart-topping single, Go Away Little Girl, further cemented his reputation as a leading figure in the pop music scene. Go Away Little Girl, written by Jerry Goffin and Carole King, became a career-defining moment for Lawrence, earning him a gold record for surpassing 1 million sales. Notably, Lawrence was the first artist to achieve a number 1 hit with the song, which would later be recorded by other prominent musicians. While his singles brought him national fame, much of Lawrence's musical career during this period revolved around live performances in nightclubs and on the musical stage. His ability to captivate audiences with his warm voice and charismatic stage presence made him a sought-after performer in prestigious venues across the country. Alongside Eddie Gourmet, he frequently headlined shows, establishing the couple as one of the most beloved musical duos of their era. Lawrence's versatility extended beyond music into television and acting. After his early success on The Tonight Show, he made guest appearances on some of the most popular variety and talk shows of the time. These included The Danny Kaye Show, The Judy Garland Show, and The Julie Andrews Hour, where his charm and vocal talent earned him recurring spots. He also demonstrated his dramatic abilities with guest roles on series such as Night Gallery, Police Story, Murder, She Wrote, Diagnosis, Murder, and CSI. In 1958, Steve Lawrence and Eddie Gourmet starred in their first television series together, The Steve Lawrence and Eddie Gourmet Show, which served as a summer replacement for The Steve Allen Show. While short-lived, the program showcased their unique chemistry and appeal as entertainers. Lawrence returned to television in 1965 with The Steve Lawrence Show, a 13-week variety series featuring supporting actor Charles Nelson Riley. Though one of the final television shows to air in black and white, it demonstrated Lawrence's ability to transition into hosting and comedy, adding yet another dimension to his already multifaceted career. In addition to his work as part of a duo, Steve Lawrence also found great success as a solo artist. His most notable solo hit, Go Away Little Girl, written by the legendary songwriting duo Jerry Goffin and Carole King, reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1963, earning him a gold record. This achievement made him one of the rare pop crooners to remain relevant in the early 1960s as rock and roll began dominating the charts. Steve's career was marked by versatility, and he quickly expanded beyond music. In 1964, he starred in the Broadway musical What Makes Sammy Run, based on Bud Schulberg's novel about the ruthless world of Hollywood. The role earned him critical acclaim, including a Drama Critics Circle Award and a Tony nomination for Best Actor in a Musical. His performance showcased his ability to captivate audiences, not only with his voice, but also with his stage presence and acting skills. Throughout the 1960s and 1970s, Lawrence and Gormy continued to release albums, appear on television specials, and perform in nightclubs and concert halls. Together, they were a staple of the Las Vegas entertainment scene, where their polished, high-energy performances earned them a dedicated following. Their live act blended humor, impeccable timing, and vocal mastery, making them one of the most sought-after acts of their era. Lawrence also ventured into television, hosting The Steve Lawrence Show in 1965, a variety series that allowed him to showcase his singing and comedic talents. Though the show had a short run, it demonstrated his ability to connect with audiences across different mediums. In the 1980s, Lawrence began to explore acting in film and television. He appeared in movies like The Lonely Guy, 1984, and took on guest roles in TV series. In 1989, he and 80 launched their own record label, GL Music, which allowed them to reissue their classic recordings and release new music independently. One of their notable projects during this period was the album Alone Together, which featured updated versions of their most beloved duets. In 1990 to 1991, Lawrence and Gormy joined Frank Sinatra on his Diamond Jubilee Tour, celebrating Sinatra's 75th birthday. The tour was a career highlight for Lawrence, as it reinforced his close friendship with Sinatra and further solidified his position as a respected figure in traditional pop music. Sinatra later entrusted Lawrence with his personal book of arrangements, a gesture that reflected their mutual respect and camaraderie. In 2003, Lawrence paid tribute to Sinatra with the album Steve Lawrence Sings Sinatra, a musical tribute produced by his son, David Lawrence. The project highlighted Lawrence's ability to honor the great American songbook while bringing his unique style to timeless classics. By the 2000s, Steve Lawrence had scaled back his performances but remained a beloved figure in entertainment. He and 80 continued to perform occasionally, including their One More for the Road tour in 2003 and 2004, which celebrated their decades-long career together. Steve Lawrence's career spanned more than 6 decades, marked by his ability to adapt and thrive in an ever-changing entertainment landscape. From chart-topping hits and Grammy wins to critically acclaimed Broadway performances and memorable television appearances, he proved himself to be a consummate entertainer, beloved by fans and respected by his peers. Scandal. In 1965, Steve Lawrence found himself embroiled in a controversy during his tenure as the star of the Broadway musical What Makes Sammy Run, based on Bud Schulberg's scathing novel about the ruthless Hollywood industry. The musical, which opened in February 1964, received widespread acclaim, with Lawrence's portrayal of Sammy Glick earning him critical praise. He won the Drama Critics Circle Award and received a Tony nomination for Best Actor in a Musical. However, despite these accolades, tensions between Lawrence and the production team began to surface. The issue came to a head when the producers publicly criticized Lawrence for missing 21 performances since Christmas of 1964. They accused him of neglecting his responsibilities, which they believed undermined the production. Lawrence, in his defense, explained that he had been unwell during this period and had even taken unpaid absences to recover. However, the damage to his reputation was already done. The dispute became public and attracted significant media attention, painting Lawrence as unreliable in the eyes of some within the theater community. The controversy not only affected his personal image, but also impacted the production itself. What Makes Sammy Run continued to run for several months, despite the tension, but ultimately closed on June 12, 1965, after 540 performances. While the closure of the show was not solely attributed to the controversy, the strained relationship between Lawrence and the producers likely contributed to its decline. The incident highlighted the intense pressures faced by performers in high-profile roles on Broadway. Lawrence's grueling schedule, which included live performances, recording commitments, and television appearances, may have taken a toll on his health and stamina. While he was a seasoned professional by this time, balancing these responsibilities proved challenging, and the fallout from the What Makes Sammy Run debacle revealed the difficulties of sustaining a career across multiple platforms. Despite this setback, Lawrence did not allow the controversy to define his career. He rebounded quickly, signing a deal with CBS to host The Steve Lawrence Show, a variety program that premiered in September 1965. Although the show only ran for 13 weeks, it marked a shift in focus for Lawrence, who began to prioritize television and live performances over Broadway. Although the What Makes Sammy Run incident was the most publicized controversy of Lawrence's career, it wasn't the only challenge he faced. In the 1980s and 1990s, some critics and audiences perceived Lawrence's traditional pop style as outdated amidst the rise of new music genres like rock, disco, and later, hip-hop. However, Lawrence remained steadfast in his commitment to classic American standards, often stating that his passion lay in preserving the great American songbook. Additionally, in 2019, decades after his prime, Lawrence faced another public controversy when he was accused of inappropriate behavior by his former manager, who alleged sexual harassment. Lawrence, who was in his 80s at the time, denied the allegations. The accusations briefly reignited public scrutiny of his personal life, though they did not appear to overshadow his long-standing legacy in the entertainment industry. While controversies like the What Makes marriage. Steve Lawrence and Eydie Gormé's marriage is remembered as one of the most enduring and celebrated unions in the entertainment industry. The couple first met in 1953 while working on The Tonight Show with Steve Allen, where both were featured vocalists. Their chemistry, both on and off the stage, quickly became apparent, and the two began dating shortly thereafter. On December 29, 1957, Steve and Eydie tied the knot in a private ceremony in Las Vegas, marking the start of a partnership that would last more than 5 decades. From the beginning, Steve and Eydie viewed their marriage and careers as complementary. They seamlessly blended their personal and professional lives, becoming one of the most iconic musical duos of their time. While each had successful solo careers, they were best known for their duets, which showcased their undeniable chemistry and vocal harmony. In 1960, the couple released their first full-length duet album, We Got Us, which won a Grammy Award for Best Performance by a Vocal Group. This achievement solidified their status as a powerhouse team in traditional pop music. Over the years, Steve and Eydie recorded numerous albums together, including That Holiday Feeling, 1964, A Beloved Christmas Album, and Alone Together, 1989. which featured updated versions of their classic duets. The couple also became staples of the Las Vegas entertainment scene, headlining major casinos such as the Sands and Caesars Palace. Their live performances were a blend of humor, music, and charisma, with 80's vibrant personality perfectly balancing Steve's suave and sophisticated stage presence. They were often referred to simply as Steve and 80, a testament to how inseparable they were in the public's mind. Despite their busy touring and recording schedules, Steve and 80 prioritized their family. They welcomed two sons, David Lawrence and Michael Lawrence. David followed in his parents' footsteps into the entertainment world, becoming a successful film composer. Michael, however, tragically passed away in 1986 at the age of 23 due to ventricular fibrillation caused by an undiagnosed heart condition. The loss deeply affected Steve and 80, but they leaned on each other for strength and continued to perform together as a way of honoring their son's memory. Their marriage was widely admired, not just for its longevity, but for the deep love and mutual respect they shared. In interviews, Steve and 80 often spoke about the secret to their successful partnership. They credited their shared sense of humor, mutual support, and ability to separate their personal and professional lives when needed. Steve once remarked, "We always knew that the marriage came first. The work was wonderful, but it was just what we did. It wasn't who we were." The couple's enduring bond also translated into their performances. Whether bantering playfully on stage or singing heartfelt duets, their love and connection were palpable, endearing them to audiences worldwide. 80 Gourmet passed away on August 10th, 2013, at the age of 84, following a brief illness. Steve was devastated by the loss of his wife and performing partner of 56 years. In a heartfelt statement, he described 80 as my partner on stage and in life for more than 55 years. I fell in love with her the moment I saw her, and even more the first time I heard her sing. While my personal loss is unimaginable, the world has lost one of the greatest singers of all time. After 80's passing, Steve largely retired from performing but continued to honor her memory through their music. Their iconic recordings and live performances remain a testament to their love and shared artistry, celebrated by fans and peers alike. Other relationships. One of the most significant relationships in Steve Lawrence's life outside of his marriage was his close friendship with Frank Sinatra. The two were part of the elite circle of entertainers who defined mid-20th century show business. Sinatra recognized Lawrence's talent and admired his dedication to preserving the Great American Songbook. Their relationship was built on mutual respect and shared values as performers who celebrated timeless music. In the early 1990s, Sinatra further cemented their friendship by inviting Steve and 80 Gourmet to open for him during his Diamond Jubilee tour, celebrating his 75th birthday. This was a high honor, as Sinatra was known to be selective about his collaborators. Lawrence and Gourmet brought their signature charm to the stage, setting the tone for Sinatra's performances and earning praise for their contributions to the tour's success. Their friendship reached an emotional milestone when Sinatra retired from performing. As a gesture of deep trust and admiration, Sinatra gifted Lawrence his personal book of arrangements, an invaluable collection of scores from Sinatra's storied career. This was not only a practical tool, but also a symbolic passing of the torch, with Sinatra recognizing Lawrence as a worthy successor in the realm of traditional pop music. In 2003, Lawrence paid tribute to Sinatra with the album Steve Lawrence Sings Sinatra, a musical tribute. Produced by his son, David Lawrence, the album featured Lawrence's interpretations of Sinatra's iconic songs, honoring the legacy of his friend while showcasing his own vocal mastery. The project was well received and demonstrated Lawrence's commitment to preserving Sinatra's influence for future generations. Steve Lawrence also shared a meaningful relationship with Steve Allen, the pioneering television host and comedian who played a pivotal role in launching Lawrence's career. In 1953, Allen hired Lawrence as a vocalist for his local New York City late-night show on WNBC TV, where Lawrence performed alongside Eddie, Gourmet, and Andy Williams. When The Tonight Show transitioned to a national broadcast, Lawrence remained a key figure on the program until its end in 1957. Reflecting on this period, Lawrence often credited Allen with giving him the platform and exposure that jump-started his career. "I think Steve Allen was the biggest thing that happened to me," Lawrence once said. "Every night I was called upon to do something different. In its own way, it was better than vaudeville." The professional relationship between Allen and Lawrence grew into a genuine friendship. Allen's mentorship and creative influence had a lasting impact on Lawrence, shaping his versatility and comedic timing, which would become hallmarks of his career. Throughout his career, Steve Lawrence worked with a wide range of artists and entertainers, many of whom became lifelong friends. One notable connection was with Carol Burnett, with whom Lawrence shared a professional and personal rapport. Lawrence appeared on The Carol Burnett Show 29 times between 1967 and 1978, both with and without Eddie Gourmet. His comedic timing and ability to adapt to Burnett's sketches and musical numbers made him a beloved guest. Burnett often praised Lawrence's talents and sense of humor, and their collaborations remain highlights of the show's run. Lawrence also built strong relationships with other prominent performers, including Danny Kaye, Judy Garland, and Julie Andrews. His appearances on their shows demonstrated his versatility as a singer and entertainer, as well as his ability to connect with fellow artists on and off the stage. As a regular headliner in Las Vegas, Steve Lawrence formed close bonds with other entertainers who defined the golden age of the Vegas Strip. He was part of a community of performers, including Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., and Tony Bennett, who supported and celebrated each other's successes. Las Vegas was not just a professional hub for Lawrence, but also a place where friendships were cultivated through shared experiences on stage and behind the scenes. Beyond his friendships with established entertainers, Lawrence also served as a mentor and inspiration for younger artists. His commitment to traditional pop music and live performance left a lasting impression on those who followed in his footsteps. While not a formal mentor, his career served as a blueprint for aspiring artists who admired his ability to navigate music, television, and theater with equal success. Death Steve Lawrence, the legendary American musician and one of the most iconic voices from the 1950s to the 1970s, has passed away, leaving an irreplaceable void in the hearts of fans worldwide. With his departure, the music world bids farewell to a symbol of romance, sophistication, and heartfelt emotion that few artists could replicate. Over a career spanning more than 6 decades, Steve Lawrence was admired not only for his smooth and emotive voice, but also for his unwavering dedication and deep love for music. His exceptional talent earned him numerous accolades, including Grammy and Emmy Awards, as well as appearances on some of the most iconic television shows of his era, cementing his status as an entertainment icon. Steve Lawrence's passing is a profound loss not only to the world of music, but also a poignant reminder of the enduring value of timeless melodies. His music brought joy, inspiration, and love to countless lives and will continue to resonate for generations to come. Though he is no longer with us, his artistic legacy remains a treasure that encapsulates love and cherished memories. Fans around the globe have expressed their deep sorrow at this loss. Many artists, friends, and family members have shared heartfelt tributes, emphasizing that Steve Lawrence was not just a remarkable artist, but also a deeply respected individual who lived his life with passion for his craft and the people he held dear. Steve Lawrence's musical legacy will live on in the hearts of his audience, a monument to love, artistry, and unyielding dedication to the beauty of music. As we bid him farewell, we do so with immense gratitude, wishing him peace and eternal rest. Outro Steve Lawrence's life was a testament to the power of music, love, and perseverance. Through his unforgettable voice and timeless melodies, he brought joy to countless hearts and left behind a legacy that will be cherished forever. While his passing marks the end of an era, his contributions to the world of music and entertainment ensure that he will never be forgotten. Thank you for joining us in celebrating the life of Steve Lawrence, an artist who will forever remain in our hearts.